welcome. Today we are doing an unboxing of the Oliso mini project iron. So if this is something that you've considered purchasing and you've looked at this online, stick around and I'll show you what's inside the box. Let's jump right in. I have the Oliso Pro iron that I have had for several years, and I use this iron a lot. I like the fact that it gets very hot. I like that it has quite a good steam to it, that it has the steam underneath as well as the push button for steam on demand, and that it has the particular functionality where when you put your hand on it, it goes down, and then you can iron quilt pieces and that, and when you let go, you can leave it in the laying down flat position. Also, there is a button on the back of this iron that you can turn off, and then it will stop going up and down. So this is an iron that I've used a lot. This is an iron that I like to use on a regular basis. So when I was looking for a small iron, and I really was looking for an iron that I could put over by the sewing machine to press pieces as I was piecing blocks, because I like to use the Lori Holt design boards, and I'll put a link to the video where I talk about how to make those design boards. And so that allows me to take all the pieces for a particular block on a design board over to the sewing machine, sew those pieces together, and if I have an iron over there, I can iron as I go and I don't have to get up. I can complete a full block sitting there by the sewing machine. So this is my second Oliso mini project iron. The first iron that I received, I set it on the surface back there by the sewing machine, and as I was rearranging and reorganizing my sewing space, which I do on a regular basis because I'm always looking for better workflow, better storage, just a better way to manage the different projects that I'm working on, I pulled it off of the table onto the tile floor and busted it open. So this is a replacement iron. This is a second iron. So I know what's in the box, but I thought maybe you might like to see what you get if you buy one of these Oliso mini irons. So it starts out, it has a seal on the back that tells you that if you do see a few water drops in the tank of the iron when you look at it, that's because they have tested your iron to make sure that it doesn't leak before they've sent it to you. So they're telling you that on the seal that's on the box. So once you break that seal and you open this box, the first thing you see are 4 simple steps to get started using this iron. And I thought that was a great way to show it. I learn in pictures, so I really liked the fact that it was showing me what I needed to do in a picture without having to get too deep into a big instruction booklet or anything like that. On the back of the box, there is also an 800 number and a customer service website that you can use, or an email that you can use if you have questions or concerns. There are the different features to the iron on the back, and we'll talk about each one of these as I go along. And it talks about the sole plate on the iron. So let me get the iron out and we'll look at it, and then I'll talk a little bit more about that. So it comes packaged very well, very solidly in packaging. So both of these irons have arrived without any issues. So they have the packing, and they have more instructions about how to use the iron. So you can see, let me move this out of the way. So you can see they come in many different colors, and I happen to pick purple, which is typically my go-to color. So when I received my iron, it comes like this. So of course the cord is tied on. So that's about as complicated as the unboxing gets. So you can see the size of this iron compared to the size of this iron. And I'll take the sole plate off. So these are some this gives you a comparison of how small it is compared to this iron. If you're using this iron at home and you're wanting this iron maybe to take on retreats, this will show you exactly how big it is compared to this iron. Now, the one feature this one does not have is it doesn't go up and down. As a matter of fact, this iron is designed such that once you fill it with water and you're using the iron, they want you to leave it in a down position, in a flat position throughout the time that you're using the iron. So that's why they give you this sole plate that allows you to have it protected against whatever surface you're sitting it on. So the way the water fills makes it such that you want to keep it in the down position while you're using it, because if you try to sit it upright while you're working, the water will come out of the reservoir. It also instructs you to remove the water out of the iron between uses. And just like the big iron, it is recommending spring water for the water, and it takes just a little bit of water to fill it up. So comes with the sole plate. The sole plate can do two things. It comes, let's see how you can see that. It comes like that. You pull these rubber pieces back a little, and that's how you store the iron. It has a hook at the top, so you could have a hook on the wall and you could store this hanging on the wall if you wanted to. You can store this connected to the iron so you don't lose it between uses when you're, putting it in a bag that you might take to a quilt retreat and that kind of thing. So I like that it attaches to it and it won't go anywhere when I'm not using the iron and I don't lose it. But it peels off really easily. And then the plate is a Teflon nonstick plate, so it talks about that in the instructions that it is non-stick, and you can see the steam holes on the bottom. Now once you plug this iron in, you take this plate that has been attached, you take it off and you turn it over and you lay it down there, and then when you use this dial that starts with off and has 1 dot, 2 dots, and 3 dots, so you get a low, medium, and high temperature choices, then you set it on that as you use it. Okay, so that's what the sole plate does. Teflon on the bottom for non-stick. It has the buttons, these buttons here on the side that you can squeeze for additional steam when you need it, similar to the way this has the button here that allows you to do more steam on demand. This has the side buttons, so it's similar in that fashion. And then it also has a, what does it say, 120 volt. It's got a universal voltage spot where you can use the 110 to 120 volt or 220 to 240, which makes them good for travel, especially if you're traveling outside of the US. So that is one of the features on it. And then it has a relatively long cord. I was really kind of surprised that the cord was as long as it is. I think it's long enough to suit my purposes for sure. Okay, so then one of the other things that we haven't talked about is how to put water in it, which took me a little bit to kind of figure that out. So open this up, there's a hole. It tells you maximum fill is up to the gray part of this particular iron. Once you've filled it, you close it, and then like I said, you're keeping it in this position while it's on and while it's hot. So you leave it on your plate when you're not using it, you iron with it, and you put it back. You don't turn it up this way once you put water in it, because the water will spill out the back. And if you drop it on tile, it will, when I dropped it, the door came off. And to be fair to the iron, it wasn't poor manufacturing, it wasn't poor quality at all. It was a fall that was a good 3 feet fall straight to ceramic tile. It cracked the back of this that held where the water is held, and it dislodged the lid on the water. So it wasn't something that I could save, that I could use. So that's what you get when you order the Oliso Mini, and you can see next to the Oliso Pro kind of how big it is compared to the other, and then know that you get the Teflon with it, or not Teflon, the rubberized cover to it, and that cover will stick, let you hang it, so that you don't lose that between uses. I hope you'll give me your comments. If you've bought this iron and you liked it or didn't like it, I'd love to hear from you. So I'm interested to hear how other people like this particular iron. This retailed, when I purchased it, I believe I spent about $50 for this iron, and I bought it off of Amazon. So it's a relatively expensive iron as irons go, in my opinion. I considered some of the other irons that were $15, $20 and that, but I really liked the service I've gotten out of the large Oliso. It's lasted a long time. I haven't had leaks. I haven't had issues. I haven't had any concerns, and I thought maybe that I would get the same kind of results by sticking with the brand. And I love the color. So the option to have some really pretty colors was also a big sell for me. So check it out. I will put a link to it in the description. I don't have an affiliate link, but I will put a link so that you'll know where I got it on Amazon. Again, if you like the video, please give it a like. Please subscribe to the channel. Thank you for your support. If you're one of the folks that have subscribed since we started the channel several months ago, we so appreciate that you're here and that you keep coming back and that you're listening to our videos. And one of our future videos will include the announcement of our new website. So I hope you'll check out pinkheartquilting.com, a new site that offers long arm services, memory quilt services, as well as custom embroidered labels. So check that out too.